What we speak shape the way we think, and the way we think shape our beliefs, and the beliefs we have shape what we experience and what we get. The power of your words. I don't think there's something fascinating that I've come across than the power of your words. I didn't know how our words was shaping us or have been shaping us. And when I discovered this thing, I was like, oh man, how I wish I could turn back the hand of time to unsay some of the things I've said, but it can't be done. And the good news is, what has been done can be undone now when we start doing the right thing. And what are the right things to be done? By learning and knowing the right words to speak. Because that is why sometimes when we try to get out of some situations, we try so hard to get out of them, but we always end up finding ourselves back into that situation we're trying to get out of. So why? My question is, so why? And I found out that it is because of the words we speak. Because the words we speak shape the way we think, and the way we think shape our beliefs, and the beliefs we have shape what we experience and what we get. Because we can't outrun our beliefs and what we think about life and how we see ourselves. No matter how hard, sometimes we think when we find ourselves committed to something and then we can't happen to keep up, we sometimes think we need to do more, we need to try harder, and all we just need to do is to change how we see the situation, how we think, our perspective about life, and change the words we speak. Honestly, we can alter our life with the right words. It is simple, but it requires us to be consistent and intentional about the words we speak. Because sometimes, before we start something, we have already put them in our head. Now, before I start this video, I was proud up to do them, but at some point, I started finding myself drawing back. Why? Because something about it changed. My thinking changed. My reasoning changed, which makes it feel like it's dragging. So in that kind of situation, what we do most times is we try to force ourselves, and the more you try to force yourself to do something, the more you draw yourself back. But all you need is a new identity and a new approach to it. Because when you come to look at it, it's just like a small child with a small brain, a small child with a small capacity to use its brain. As it grows, the child learns that he or she can start using her brain and start expanding more. But at some point in life, we stop using our brain, and instead of, it's just like I'll use this example. It's just like you trying to attain something, and then you are still thinking in the form of a kid. That's why they say some people grow old while they still think like a kid. It is because of the thinking, because they think what thinking it requires for you to step into that other realm you're trying to go is totally different from the ones you've been thinking right now. That is why the way the rich think is far different from the way the poor thinks. That's the difference. And call them mindsets, power of our words. And when we understand the power of our words, we understand that everything around it is connected. Everything around us is connected. Everything was created through the words. The word was with God. That was when the idea first came to me. Because I was like, if God could create everything through the word, that means our words carry power. So how can we start using our words to start creating a life and start speaking our future into existence? But sometimes, even before we try something, we've already said to ourselves, I can't do it. So repeating this, I can't do it, and you trying to do something, how do you expect yourself to do it when you are trying to run on an engine that can't carry you go further? If you need a new identity, you need a new engine. And how do you get a new engine? By changing how you think. So now, if you want to learn more about this, click on the link in the description and check the book out. It's titled The Power of Your Words. Peace out.